Hi. Hi, my name is Tori. And I'm a member of Ralston Creek Cohousing, a co-housing community that is forming in Arvada, Colorado. While we're here, let's take a minute and share this video. Please share it on Facebook on your page or in your groups right now so people see it. Today, 3 members of our group are here to share with you why we are interested in living in co-housing. I'll moderate as 2 of my partners in crime here invite you to listen as we share our stories. Ralston Creek Cohousing is looking for new members who might like to join us in building a sustainable community, a solar community, a co-housing community. And you can learn more about us on our website, which I believe is about to appear in the chat box. It's www.ralstoncreekcohousing.org. So the first question to start us off is why am I interested in Ralston Creek Cohousing? And Joan is going to share her story with us about why she's interested.
All right. Well, you know, there are a lot of reasons. I've been attracted to co-housing for years, since around the 1990s. And every time a new co-housing community in Colorado would pop up, I would go and tour and ask questions and ponder the idea of living in community. I love the idea of living in community. I liked the fun of dorm life when I was in college. We shared a lot of deep thoughts and about the meaning of life. And, you know, we had all the fun of sharing around the new dating experiences and discovering new ways of being and all that. And ask questions and ponder the idea of living in community. We shared joys and challenges. I liked the fun of dorm life when I was in college. Working through that first death and first birth and first scary surgery. I think we have some echo on. In my mid-20s, I joined a ski club with a chalet, and we had a big party room and a giant commercial kitchen and a women's floor and a men's floor. And we skied and we hiked and we cooked and we ate and we partied together. It was just a blast. In the summer, we had work parties, and we would do work parties every month, and we would fix the place up. So we had a long list of all the things that needed to be fixed. And after about 4 hours of work, we'd play volleyball and eat a meal. And then we might go downtown, or we might be just in the party room and having a good time. We all got along. We worked and we played together. We shared good times and we shared some challenges. When my daughter Lisa was young, all the kids in the neighborhood went from house to house to house, and they played and learned from each other and from the other families. They saw that there was more than one way to live a life and be in life. They knew that if something bad happened, the closest parent in the neighborhood would comfort them. We parents had a babysitting co-op. We all got the same amount of fake babysitting money, and we knew that if we had a whole stash of babysitting money, that, you know, we probably needed to go out and leave our kid with somebody and pay him with some fake bills. And the other side was, if we didn't have any, it was time for us to pick it up and invite people to bring their kids over, and they needed to go out. So there was a lot of sharing in that way. We did progressive dinners. We rented a Santa every Christmas. We had neighborhood barbecues. We planted trees together in the neighborhood that are now really big and beautiful. Most of these activities kind of sort of died away as the children grew up and people moved away. There are still some of the core folks in the neighborhood, and we do still care for each other's pets when someone's out of town, and we're there for support when someone gets sick. We borrow each other's tools, and whoever's out first in the morning to shovel snow generally will do a couple of houses instead of just one. So there is some nice stuff that happens in the hood. All these kinds of things happen in co-housing, and they keep happening in co-housing because there is an intention to create and to maintain a caring and connected community.
That sounds like a great way to live. it really attracts me too. Let's hear next from Janette. Janette, what attracted you to co-housing?
Well, currently I live in a large 5-bedroom home in a suburb of Denver. And my mother, who's 92, lives with me. And she's physically doing well after suffering from a couple of serious falls that landed her in the hospital. But mentally, she's slowly fading away. And I just experienced a lot of stress around that. And I thought about maybe trying to find a community, a senior community, where we could participate more with other people and, interact more. And one of my friends was looking into a senior cooperative community, and I thought that sounded interesting. But when I checked into it, I found out that they were interested in football parties, happy hours, and social outings. And it just didn't, hit me the right way. Plus, the buildings they constructed weren't built of natural building materials, and they didn't feature alternative energy. And it's very important to me to the climate. And I want to do everything I can not to support the fossil fuel industry. So I began searching on the web for an eco village. And, I saw some in other states. And then I found Geos, which is right here in Arvada. I was really pleased that there was something so close. And so I signed up for a tour of Geos on the web, and I met Norbert Klebe. Now, Norbert is the Geos developer, and he's also a founding member of Ralston Creek Cohousing. And he took me on a tour of a townhouse in Geos. It's on 3 levels, and I was very, very impressed with the use of natural materials and their use of solar and geothermal energy in their construction. But then he told me about co-housing, and that sounded perfect because the gatehouse is going to have an elevator, so everyone would have an apartment with their own living facilities and underground parking. And I thought, well, I need to check this out. So he gave me a pamphlet. I took the pamphlet and I went home and looked on the Ralston Creek Cohousing website. And there I found Tori's phone number, and I called her up and she invited me to a business meeting in June. So I went to a couple of business meetings, and that summer I gave them a check to become an Explorer member. And in the fall, I became a full member in 2018. So I love the use of solar panels, the geothermal energy that'll be used in the gatehouse, and they also have an air purification system, which will filter out particulates. And eventually, Norbert's looking into filtering out viruses too, so it'll be a really clean indoor environment. And I'm also excited about working with others to solve problems, maintain our facility, and engage in social activities and gain support for my mother and me if my mother should live that long, which, she might. You can just cross my fingers.
Well, we can see that people come for different reasons and have different perspectives, but each one of us brings something different to the mix, which is one of the best things about co-housing. Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us and bringing questions to the chat box. We are looking for new home buyers or new members who might be interested in joining us as we build the co-housing community. I see there's a question there about how long before we move in. We'll be moving in about 18 months after we break ground, and we're expecting to break ground in the next maybe 3 months or so, maybe 6 months. We're very close to breaking ground. Please feel free to reach out to any of us to ask questions. We're all happy to talk to anyone about our project. We're very excited about it. We have another event coming up next month, so sign up for our newsletter or follow us on the Facebook page. It's a great way, an easy way to stay up to date. We have a lot of events listed on our website, ralstoncreekcohousing.org. Some have been recorded, so you can catch them there, but of course it's better to attend live and be able to ask questions and interact with us. We are also hosting an introduction, we call them video chats, an information session on Friday, August 21st from 6 to 7:30 Mountain Time. And we're having a virtual meal and discussion about downsizing and moving on Saturday, August 29th on 6 to 7 p.m. We call it right sizing, finding the right size and space for yourself. You can easily sign up on our website, ralstoncreekcohousing.org to get our mailing list. And then that's a great way to find out what's going on. And also go look and see if this is a good fit for you. There's a lot on our website about what we're planning. So thanks again to everybody. Oh, the question on there, Janette, did you make the quilt behind you?
No, I didn't. My mother's an excellent quilter, although now her eyesight's faded, so she can't quilt anymore. This particular one was made by a local woman. So, yeah. I think Joan might have some more to add about her story.
Yeah, Tori, I think you went mute. So I'll add a little bit to my story. So yes, one of the reasons is carbon neutral is really appealing to me, and our cohousing community will be carbon neutral, but it is situated in a neighborhood that's totally carbon neutral as well. So the Geos neighborhood is about 26 acres of land and will be within that community. And we're already starting to establish relationships with that community. In fact, Tori is living in that community. She just couldn't wait. So she's living across the street from where our building will be, and she'll move across. And I'm tempted to just move in next door. I'll tell you, it's a great group. And it's so well done.
Move in now, Joan.
Yeah, it would be fun, wouldn't it? Tori's electric bill is $7 a month because the solar and everything is so effective, and that's what we anticipate happening in the Gatehouse, which is the name of the building that will be our co-housing community. So another piece that's real appealing to me about Ralston Creek is the building site itself. It's located on a little hill overlooking Ralston Creek and the Ralston Creek Trail, which runs 12 miles east and west. So we'll be able to go walk out our courtyard and just go for miles walking and biking in either direction along the trails and, in the trees and with the wildlife. There's also pocket parks planned to be on either side of our building. So we'll have nice spaces around the building. And we've already started a little demonstration project of natural plants because Janette is a master gardener with natural plants. So that's been pretty fun. She's teaching us things. And then finally, the thing that's really keeping me so excited about Ralston Creek is the people. So we just have a great group of folks. We have a strong commitment to develop a warm, kind, caring community. And we're in the process of designing some ways to ensure robust communication and creative, respectful decision-making. We're working on different policies that we're putting together to try and support a community that's really, really connected. We're thinking of lots of various ways we might engage each other in connecting. My ideas are like, shared meals and in a common space. We'll have a large multi-purpose room with a kitchen and everything. We'll do shared meals a couple of times, 2 or 3 times a week or something. We might have a coffee time in the morning. We might have happy hour at sunset. Who knows? We've talked about yoga, biking, hiking, going to shows together. The Arvada Center is really awesome and very close. So there's so many things that we're thinking would be fun to do together. And people will, I'm sure, cycle in on some and cycle out on others, and that's all good. So I'm really looking forward to when we'll all be together. But it has been fun just building the community as we're imagining it, as it's in our heads and our hope. And we're having a good time getting to know each other as we do that.
We have two questions in the chat box that maybe Janette can answer. One is how many units will be in the gatehouse, and it's kind of gone out of sight for me. I think there might have been what were the units supposed to be like. And do we plan on having a gardener? Not a gardener, a garden.
So there's going to be plenty of opportunity to garden. We're going to have a beautiful courtyard. The gatehouse is a U-shaped building which will surround a courtyard. So we'll probably have some planters in that courtyard so we can grow vegetables. And you know, my idea is that we're going to have a native plant border. Sorry, the dog is making noise. Oh, sorry. Yeah. And,
So in addition to having plants, there is already a community garden out there at Geos that the people that live in Geos currently have put together, and I'm sure will either participate or expand on or develop an additional one. We'll have about 5 acres of open space that can be used to do gardening or volleyball or whatever it is we decide we want to do. Just it can't have permanent buildings and stuff on it. So there's a lot of opportunity for us to build stuff out. And then the other question was, I can't hear you, honey.
How many units are there was the other question.
So there's room for around between 18 and 22 units, and that depends on the size of units that people decide they want to have. And we haven't made that, we haven't finalized the sizes or the total numbers yet, because we're not in the design phase yet. We'll be in the design phase as soon as we have a few more members. And all the people that are full members at that time will work with the architect during the design workshop. And people can decide whether they want a 500 square unit, a 750, 950, 1100, whatever. And then depending on how many people have larger ones and smaller ones, that will determine the final total number of units that we have. The footprint of the building is already determined. So we have a certain amount of space we can work with, and that will help us determine how many we can have.
We also have a comment in the chat box from Vicki Holden Martin that she'd like to visit us as soon as she feels safe to visit. She lives in Arkansas, and we would be happy to meet you when you come visit. Meanwhile, we do have a virtual tour of one floor of my townhouse, which we think looks a lot like what a 1-bedroom might look like in the gatehouse. And it's on our website, ralstonCreekCohousing.org. I think on the news page. It was a Facebook Live event like this, and we recorded it, and it's in there. If you have trouble finding it, write to one of us. You can find our emails on the website, and we'll find it for you. But I'm pretty sure it's on that page.
Hey, Tori, I think it's on the homepage. There's a video of you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think I put it in the news. I think I put it in the news page, so maybe it's in 2 places.
And if people are especially interested in the carbon neutral aspects and want to know more about the technology, they can go on to discovergeos.com. And that's our developer, Norbert Klebe. He's got all the information there, and it's very interesting.
But of course, you know, a real tour is the best, because then you get to meet us too.
Yeah.
We'd like to meet you. Carl has a question there that maybe Janette or Joan would like to answer. How does co-housing make this different from any other condo?
Well, co-housing requires that we have some shared spaces. So we would have a guest room that people can use for their guests, so they don't have to have an extra bedroom in their apartment. And we'll also have a fairly large common room where we can share common meals, have meetings, or maybe yoga or other activities. And there's a possibility that we could also have a hobby room, so that if several people are interested in a hobby, that they could share that room. And it could be 2 or 3 different hobbies like artwork or sewing, and then there's a possibility we could have a woodworking shop. So, it just depends on the people that do the design will decide what areas will be shared. And so that you don't have to have as large an apartment.
And that design is coming up soon. We're planning on doing those architectural drawings in the next few months. So if you want to be in on the design, now is the time to join. So it looks like we've run out of questions and comments. And I'll just repeat that we have a couple of events coming up. We got our newsletter, we got our website, we've got our Facebook. There's many ways to keep track of the events that are coming up. But the closest up are our video chat on Friday, the 21st of August, and our virtual meal and discussion about right sizing on Saturday, August 29th. And we'd love to have guests.
Great.
And I think
Well,
we have
thank you all
about-
again for joining us. Be sure and share this. It'll be recorded. And thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.